going on, Falcon fan? This is your boy Ricondo coming back at you with another video and a second win at home for our Atlanta Falcons, guys. We're going to talk about it real quick. Talk about how these guys are just doing their thing, man, looking good. Already beat our win total that everybody predicted that we was going to get right. That everybody predicted we was going to have 2 wins this season. Already beat their win totals. Let these boys celebrate. This team is a good team. It's starting to look that way. They playing outstanding football. We're going to talk about it. So, guys, you have not already, go ahead. Please subscribe to the channel. Please hit that notification bell so you know I drop another video. Please hit the like button so I know you guys out here to talk about. Then please share my video throughout the YouTube universe so more people can come in and hear me talk about, you know what, these Atlanta Falcons. Yeah, like you said, Falcons go. That's right. Two wins at home this season. Already topped our win total from last season. You know, in that Mercedes-Benz Stadium. You know, we only got our first win in that Detroit game towards the end of the season last year. This is a completely different team. That's why when people do their predictions, the so-called experts, right, they going off last year's record and they don't know. Like I said, us as fans, right, people that actually watch this team day in and day out, we've been watching this team. We had inclinations, how good this team probably could be. We saw the chemistry they was developing in the offseason, things like that. And all now it's starting to play out, you know, in these games. It really is. All right. We talk about the 49ers or, you know, smash mouth football team coming in. It was really just punking teams all season long. I mean, they just let's keep it real. They was punking team all season long. They had in 5 games, they had over 500. They only had gave up over 500 and something yards rushing. Today they gave up 168-yard rushing. That just tells you about this Atlanta Falcons team. It's no secret. It's no secret, guys. Everybody know the Atlanta Falcons want to run the ball, but guess what? They can't stop it, and we're gonna keep running it. Right? You look at it. Yeah, it might be 3 yards here, 3 yards there, but when you get in, like I talked about on Friday, I talked about on Wednesday. When you get into have a good first and second down, when you get in third and short, and when the way Arthur Smith calling the game, you put those guys back on their toes, and that's what's happening in this game. All right, so I mean, it's just awesome win for these guys. Once again, the crowd was hype. I can't say I'm be honest with you. There's a lot of 49er fans in the stadium today. We got to try to try to cut some of that down. We need to have more of our fans there than other teams' fans. I get it. Like I said, Atlanta's a melting pot of people and stuff like that. But it was like more of a lot of San Francisco fans in there. And like for an example, when our team was on offense, their fan base was out there screaming defense, right? So we can't have that in our stadium. That's the only thing I can say that I didn't like about this game was the fact that it was too many 49er fans in there. But it was good to have those guys to be real quiet in that second half, right? Because you got to remember, the 49ers did not score a touchdown in the second half. They didn't put up a point in the second half. So um, this defense starting to find its stride. One good thing that we can't, I mean, one thing that we kind of worry about, we lost, we like all our starting corners in this game. So I'm interested to see how those guys pan out going into next week. Casey Hayward, AJ Terrell, Isaiah Oliver went down as well. So that's a little concerning for us. Just looking at the the injuries from a standpoint. Taquan Graham was able to come back in the game, which is awesome for us. But overall, guys, we just got to tip our hats off to this team. Yes, the 49ers, they had a lot of guys out from injury and things like that. But, they still had their stout guys out there. One of my keys was to don't let Debo Samuel rate the game. He tried. Don't get me wrong. That guy's a monster. He's a monster player. He was breaking tackles all over, but he only had 80 yards, I think, combined. So something like that, we was able to stop Debo Samuels. I thought Brandon Ayuk got a loose a couple times. That's how they got their touchdowns and things like that. But for the most part, we another one of my keys was to make Jimmy Garoppolo beat you. And what happened? 2 interceptions, right? So those are kind of things I'm talking about moving forward. Complementary football, guys. They play complementary football all day. Defense, offense, and special teams. So let's see here. I hope now we can start to get noticed. They still unnoticed. If you looked at the NFL Network this morning, when all the guys on the panel picked the 49ers to win this game, even when all their guys was out, they still picked these guys to win the game. 4 quarters, all 4 quarters. Yes, you're 100% correct. These guys starting to play. I mean, and God, what we starting to notice, and I know you guys got to like this. We starting to notice the defense is ending games. When can we say that about the Atlanta Falcons? The defense are starting to end games for us, right? Our offense get the points, get the lead, and now we letting our defense starting to end games. You got to love um the way you playing the complementary football. You got to love it. Got to love it. I've been saying this for years now. Yes, yes, yes. Stop Kittle as well. You correct. I mean, he had his, and like I said, guys, we don't care about yards. So we look at the overall stat sheet here. 49ers had 346 total yards, right? Um, they had 296 passing yards. They only had 50 yards rushing. That just tell you right there. That just tell you only 50 yards rushing. We was able to do what Kyle Shanahan wants to do. Kyle Shanahan wants to run the ball. It's no secret. We know this. He was our offensive coordinator for 2 seasons. He wants to run the ball. If you go look at his pops, right? All they want to do is try to run that read zone offense. I mean that wide zone downhill, play off that. We was not able to. We was able to stop those guys from doing that. And from an offensive standpoint, they already had all their guys there. Our defense pulled his head once again. All right, we got a sack took away from him because it was a holding penalty on by Lorenzo Carter when Grady and Ebiketie got out there. So, but we no sacks today. We did give up 2 sacks again, so that's 14 sacks for us. Um, our offense put up 289 yards, 168 yards on the ground, still averaging over 160 yards per game, 4.2 yards a carry today. Um, we was 9 for 14 on third downs. That's over 50%, guys. That's what we want to see. That's the kind of production you want to see on third down. Time possession, another key I had, time possession. Guys, I'm in the game and I'm watching. The Falcons had a 11 going into the halftime. This is what we talked about. Arthur Smith is so brilliant. So why I like the way he called his plays, right? Going into halftime, we had the ball for 11 plays, 75-yard, 11-play drive. When the 49ers got the ball back, it was 57 seconds left on the clock. And we knew they was getting the ball coming out of half, but they had no timeouts to move the ball down the field. And what happened? They went in without even having a chance to score to try to double us up at the end of the half. That's the situation of football I'm talking about. Yes, we want to see this offense move, move, move. But the way Arthur Smith plays his offense, he's methodical. He keep that defense on their defense on the field, running the ball, getting thirds down, just grinding out third down, grinding out third downs. That drive probably the most important drive of the game. They had came back, tied the game 14-14. We took the ball at this 25-yard line, drove 11 plays, 75 yards, left 57 seconds on the clock, and then complementary football defense come out there, stop them from scoring, go into half 21-14. That's complementary football that we want to see. The fans got to be, yeah, yeah. I mean, we at the end when we start to show that momentum, we did drown out their crowd. But like I said, guys, it was a lot of 49er fans in there. I mean, it's just what it is. Like I said, Atlanta probably got so many different, you know, people that come live there that fans of other teams, so they come to the stadium. But it was a lot of 49er fans there. But it didn't matter because at the end, they was leaving the stadium while we were still there partying. So that's what we like to see. Um, Mariota showed why he's our one quarterback. The haters give a yes, yes. I was gonna bring up Marcus Mariota. One incompletion. At one point, Marcus Mariota was 10 for 10. He had 2 touchdowns, 1 rushing, 3 touchdowns today. And I can tell you this. I can tell you this. One thing we can say about Marcus Mariota is the fact that why he's our starting quarterback, because the pressure that the San Francisco 49ers was bringing today, Desmond Ritter could not handle that pressure. I would just be honest with you. Marcus Mariota makes so many plays. He got us our negative plays. Even if he didn't wasn't able to get a big game on it, he was able to, get out and not get a sack. Another big play in that game was that third down when he got out and scrambled for 13 yards. That was one of the huge plays. That's to put us up 28-14 in that drive. If you guys recall that. But that was another big play. It was a pass play. Playing man to man. Kyle Pitts had single coverage on the outside. Marcus Mariota was able to drive right up the middle of the field, get the third down, get down, hold on to the ball. No sack, no fumbles, no interceptions. Marcus Mariota played a good game today, and you're 100% correct. That's why he's our starting quarterback, and I don't know if Desmond Ritter can handle that kind of pressure from that 49ers today. Those guys was coming. D'Amico Ryan pressure like every play almost, trying to, get a hurry up pass, try to not let the quarterback go through his progressions and things like that. But Marcus Mariota was able to handle it well. Yes, he got sacked twice, but for the most part, I thought he kept us out of negative plays, and that's the kind of stuff that we want to see out of our starting quarterback. He talked about his press conference, 3 years ago to week 6 where he got benched, right? 3 years ago, week 6, he got benched, and he admitted it. He kind of had that on his mind. The last time, Arthur Smith was calling plays, he got benched in week 6 3 years ago. That was the last time he was a starter before this season. So, um, and to come out with this kind of performance today, like I said, yes, he only threw for 121 passing yards, but it was effective. Um, we did what we wanted to do: control the clock, time possession, complementary football. Those are the things that you gotta like from Marcus Mariota. When I talk about complementary football, let's talk about our punter. Another big play in that game where Pinion punted the ball, and we was able to Cardell Hodge was able to get down at the 1 yard line and pin them at the 1 yard line. Let's talk about that. That's the kind of stuff. Plays like that won't be on the stat sheets, right? But you playing the game within the game, right? Like I said, all punts are not bad punts. That was a huge play in the game where we punted, we pinned those guys at the 1 yard line, right? We couldn't score a touchdown, we couldn't get points, we couldn't move the ball, but we was able to punt it down the field and able to get those guys pinned at the 1 yard line. That's that's it's complementary football. And then knowing the kind of offense that Kyle Shanahan runs with the San Francisco 49ers, they're not a quick, straight offense. So having them have to drive 99 yards to get back in the game was going to be tough, and it was going to eat up clock. And that's exactly what it did. By the time they got down, and our defense still stood up, it was turnover on downs. But by the time that happened, it was only 3 minutes left in that quarter. That's complementary football. That's what we want to see. This team is playing like a complete team. You can't say the defense is doing it all. You can't say the offense is doing it all. Um, you have to just look at the team as a whole. Avery Williams is starting to look like he's starting to find his stride in the return game and the punt returns. Um, it seems like he's real close to breaking one. We know he's explosive. He had 8 touchdowns in college when he was with Boise State. So these are all the things that you can see um, from this team today. All right. We're going to celebrate this today. We'll come back and talk about it again on Monday. And then guess what, guys? On to Cincinnati. On to Cincinnati. Right? That's what we got to do. We got to put it behind us and get better. Hopefully we get some good news from our cornerbacks, because we got to big test next week going up against Higgins and Chase on the outside, right? We got to make sure that um hopefully these guys are ready to go. But if not, we're gonna have the next man up. I thought Darren Hall, I thought Mike Ford came in and played great, great football after Terrell and Hayward went down. They came in. I thought Darren Hall caused the interception. He had a great PPU um, down the field on a deep post that he broke up. So both of those guys came in, and that's what we talked about a lot this all season, where the depth of this team. If a guy go down, somebody come in and actually stand up. Those that's complimentary football in its best. That's why I believe in this team, because of the depth of this team. We talk about two rookies that got their first start today. Armor Ebiketie got his first start, and Troy Anderson. I thought both of those guys played well. AK was able to get in the backfield a lot. Um, like I said, some stuff don't show up on stat sheets, but his pressures, getting pressure on the quarterback, making tackles on the running backs, that's going to go unnoticed. I thought Troy Anderson played violent all day. He had some missed tackles, like that's what's gonna happen with rookies. But I thought he was around the ball. One of the biggest plays he had in the game was on the punt return. He was able to make a touchdown saving tackle on special teams. Those are kind of things that we have to notice. Um, Glad the Saints in the book lost. You gotta love it, and the Panthers lost too, right? I know we're not really worried about the Panthers, but um, I think they're 1-5. So that's one team that, I guess if you say um pretty much out of it, yes, they're 1-5. We're tied with the Bucks at 3-3. The Aints are 2-4. So Aints play on Thursday night football this week against the Arizona Cardinals. So we'll hopefully, the Cardinals can make them go 2-5. That'd be awesome. I'll say it now. We win our division. It's a great possibility, guys. It really is. The Bucks play next week. Let me see here. Week 7. It's gonna be tough. The Buck play the Panthers next week. That's probably a win for the Bucks. So it's definitely us to try to keep pace with the Tampa Bay Buccaneers right now. If we can go up to Cincinnati, um, and get us a good win there, Um, at some point, they're gonna stop calling us underdogs. Of course, today we was a 6-point underdog going into the game against the San Francisco 49ers. And if you was a betting man, if you betted on the Falcons, you'll have a good bit of money right now, because Falcons is the only team um in the first 6 games that has broke the spread. So if people making betting on the Falcons, they actually win a lot of money. Not you, Kevin Ridley. We don't want you to bet on the Falcons. Please don't bet on the Falcons. We need you back next season. But anybody else that want to bet on the Falcons, um, right now, because nobody believes in the Falcons. At some point, might have said earlier, at some point somebody gonna have to start to recognize this team and give them the recognition. It was I did see a tweet from one of the sports reporters out there, and he said, um, it's going unnoticed, but the job that Arthur Smith is doing is amazing, and I agree with that sentiment 100%. I mean, if we just talk about the the this the build of this team so far, right? We still playing with guys on 1 year deals. Um, we just got out of salary cap, hell per se. Um, the highest dead cap in NFL history, right? Nobody expect this team to do anything except us, except you guys, all the fans of this team. Like I said, people who watched this team, throughout the off season and saw the culture that was building, right? the competition that was playing week in and week out, day in and day out, during training camp. We saw this. After the Bengals, we should be okay. You're right. You trying to look at the schedule. I thought this was the toughest stretch. These three games that we had: the Bucks, the Niners, and the Bengals. Right, three good playoff teams that we was going up against. Um, so I thought it was a good test for us, just going up against these three teams. Um, I thought we played well against the Bucks. Never know what would happen if to take away a fake roughing the passer call there. Um, Another team, playoff team, the Rams. We played those guys down to the wire. Um, the Cleveland Browns. We beat a good Cleveland Brown team. Came back the next week, beat a good 49ers team. Now we're going up to against the Cincinnati Bengals, our Super Bowl team, and see can we get a win against those guys in their home turf, right? So that's where we're at. Hopefully we can do it. That's what we want to see. All right, let's look at some. See, can I get say some stats from some guys here? Mark says this team plays like a team. Yes, that's 100%. Why that's why you have to love the fact that um that's why you have to like this team, right? Um, in years past at the stadium, they used to call the starters, right? When they call the names of the starters and they run out on the field, and that's how they will introduce. Now, when they introduce this team, they introduce them all together. The whole team just run out. There's no individuals. There's no superstars, right? We got a couple superstars, but they don't look at themselves that way. Grady Jarrett put his hard hat on just like everybody else comes out, and this is a real team. All right, every aspect of this team is helping us win games. Um, like I said, the special team performances that we saw today from the punter from Cool, just doing the routine extra points. We just kick extra points today too, guys. This tip our half off to that too, right? Our defense, our young defense, turning the ball over, two interceptions and a fumble, and a scoop and score. AJ Terrell put two hands on the ball. Luckily, that didn't cost us. But if you're just looking at the stats today, um, Kayla Huntley with 59 yards, Tyler Algier with 51 yards, Marcus Mariota with 50 yards, Avery Williams with 6 yards. That's how you run the ball by committee, right? CP's out. 2 more weeks for CP. He's out. We just got to hold down the fort until he gets back. Um, I wonder what you guys think about this because I was thinking about it today. The way Caleb Huntley is running the ball, right? Remember, Damon Williams is due back as well. What do you do with that running back room? Because I don't think you can put Caleb Huntley back on the practice squad, right? Um, I don't think you can put Caleb Huntley back on the practice squad. CP is going to get the ball. I think Tyler Algier runs hard. He's a bruiser. And guys, if you looked at that game, you was able to see how the 49ers were tired, where they was tired of hitting these big running backs in that fourth quarter. The Falcons ran the ball 40 times today. That just tell you that they're going to run the ball and they're not scared to do it. It seems like every week we move up a player from the practice squad. They come out and fight. Right, me, you talking about Michael Pruitt, right? Yes, every week. Archie Smith said it. If they bring you up to the active roster, they trust you to be able to make a play, and he's 100% correct on that. Everybody that they make active, they played a big role today. We had Bill, he made a role. D'Angelo Malone had a quick pressure on Garoppolo. Every young guy that's on this team is making plays for this Falcon team. What's up, Ricondo? What a great win today. It was awesome, man. Um, we keep Kayla Huntley. I agree 100%. So so we're gonna keep 5 running backs. That's the question, right? You got to create a roster. So if because I agree. I don't think Caleb Huntley can go back and put him back on the shelf, right? He already showed what he can do. You put Caleb Huntley on the practice squad, he's gone. I don't think that's going to be the case. Like I said, he has earned his spot on this team. Um, so Damon Williams got hurt in the first game of the season. I don't know what they're going to do by Damon Williams. We just have to see. When a player gets hurt, the next man steps up. Yeah, man. I talked about it earlier. Um, I was starting to get worried in that fourth quarter because we lost. We had already lost AJ, and then Casey went down, and then Isaiah Oliver went down. I was like, oh my gosh, we lost all our freaking cornerbacks. But to your point, D Alford come up, make a big stop on Telvin Coleman on third down. Mike Ford makes a big play. Darren Hall makes a big play. Those young guys in the secondary just stepped up and make the plays that we need to make. Williams was supposed to be back last week. They're going to keep running these guys. I agree. I agree. I think that they might just hold him out for a while, right? They just hold him out for a while because um, Algier and Huntley is doing their thing. Right now, they're the future. So if it's not broke, don't fix it. How y'all guys? How do you guys think Troy Anderson played today? I don't. I can't remember. I think it was. That's a good question. What college did Huntley go to? Good question. Good question. But like I was saying, guys, how y'all think that? How you think Troy Anderson played today in his first start? Wallace said, I think Hayward might tore his labrum. Yeah, it looks like it. The way he was holding his shoulder. Um, I mean, I'm be honest with you, man. Ball State. Kayla Huntley played for Ball State. Thanks that Wallace played for Ball State. Yeah, he is from Atlanta. Yeah, he's homegrown, man. He's straight from Atlanta. It's like a dream come true for him to play for his hometown team. So, um, that's awesome. But I agree with you. I think Casey Hayward might be out. Um, I tell you guys what, man. Debo Samuel is a that guy is he's a football player. I mean, yes, we was able to corral him today and make him do some of the things that he did not want to do, but he still tried his best to wreck the game against us today. I mean, he really did. So if anything, I take my hats off to Debo Samuels the way he played today. Um, we was able to limit him. One of my keys: don't let him wreck the game. But what he was able to do, he only had 11 yards rushing, but receiving yards, he had 79 yards receiving. Like I said, in and a lot of those was after the contact. If you look at the way he was running the ball, so George Kittle had a pretty good game. He had 83 yards receiving. Brandon Ayuk had 83 yards. So, but once again, if you look at it, don't look at the yards because if you go look at the yards and saying how many yards is Atlanta Falcon giving up, everybody would be like, man, we get up a lot of yards. But if you go look at the score, how many points the Atlanta Falcons give up, you'll be really, really surprised. Like I said, they only gave up 7 points last week in the Tampa Bay game. This week they gave up no points in the second half. Um, the defense is starting to show their head, and you have to tip your hats off Dean Pease with a young defense. This defense is young, right? Um, and they're playing their butts off. And to Wallace's point, the young guys, it's the young guys, and the next man up is coming up making plays because they all can be trusted to do what they're supposed to do. Said Hayward got hit in the back. I'm not sure what happened to him. It looked like he tried to they tried to throw one of those wide receiver screens to Debo Samuels, and he read the play perfectly. But like I said, Debo Samuels made out of brick, man. Like he almost knocked his arm out. He said, "Yeah, he's from here. That's correct." Uh, some fans may not like Peas, but I'm glad that we got Peas and players get more comfortable with his scheme. Yes, yes, man. I mean, Peas is like I said, Peas knows a lot of football, um, and he's gonna give up yards, right? It really kind of bothers you sometimes when you're looking at the game and you seeing us giving up yards and yards and yards. But we usually when we get in the red zone, these guys have been playing good football in the red zone, stiffening up, making plays. The back end playing good with that front seven. So those are kind of things that um, we definitely. I said, I love this coaching staff. I think this coaching staff had got the young guys are playing great, right? And then I mean, not jumping to next season, not jumping next season because I'm really excited about this season. But just imagine next season when we can add some veteran guys to the young guys, um, in free agency and just make this team even more complete. And these guys have an extra year up under their belts as well. So it's exciting for Falcon football. Right, right. And you can say that. I love this statement here. Stats don't matter. It's all about the W. Because if you look at Marcus Mariota, he had 121 passing yards, right? 121 passing yards, but he had two touchdowns and one rushing touchdown. And he only missed one. He had one incompletion today, right? So to look at the stats all you want, but that's great football, right? That's great football for Marcus Mariota today. He went 13 for 14, 129 passing yards, quarterback rating of 144.6. Right? Right. Didn't put up a lot of yards, but he managed the game brilliantly. Like I said, they know we want to run the ball. We ran the ball and we did what we had to do. Said our red zone defense is great. It is. We play great red zone defense so far this season. I mean, let's be honest. You're not gonna make a stop every time you get in the red zone. That's just not how it works. It, that's just not the case. It's not gonna happen like that. A lot of times, what's gonna happen is you're gonna give up that. That's why you have to play complementary defense. Gave up two touchdowns to get those guys back in the game, and I talked about it earlier. Going into the half, 11 play, 75-yard drive. We go back up 21-14 and only leave 57 seconds on the clock, where the 49ers only got one timeout. That's good complementary football, right? I got you. I got you. If you make a mistake, we got your back, right? That's what the offense defense saying. My bad offense. My bad offense. We gonna go out there and help you out. Offense, like don't worry about it. We gonna put it back. That's where we special teams like we got you. You couldn't get a first down. We're gonna pin them deep, right? That's what Pinion did on that one drive. We couldn't get the first down, or move the ball. We pin them at the 1 yard line. Now they got to go 99 yards to get back into the game. And we had another game with Mark Mariota having no turnovers. Yes, that's the key. That's key. And this is probably one of the stats that, if you think about it, on a couple of games this year, if we don't have many turnovers, we probably win those games. So this is a big stat here. If you don't like stats, this is a big stat. It's no turnovers, right? Right. We was +3 today in turnovers. Right, 2 interceptions and a fumble. No interception, no fumble from our team today. Well, AJ fumbled the ball in the end zone. Luckily Jalen Hollins got him, because that would have been a touchback instead of touchdown. So um, AJ really need to make sure he put two hands on the ball. Announcers on TV praise Mario. Mariota played a good game, guys. I mean, honestly, I can say this. Just watching the game, I thought this was the best game he played as Atlanta Falcon today. Um, He was really solid. He made all the plays he needed to make. Um, like I said, it's some plays that you don't look at stats, but he was able to not have a negative play. When they got pressure on him in the backfield, he was able to get out of it and not have a negative play. That counts too. I know some people don't think those plays count. Even if we didn't get but 1 yard off of it, um, it was not a negative play, and we can move on to the next down. So those are kind of plays that you have to actually watch and see. That was a good play by Marcus Mariota, because if a guy comes unblocked and the quarterback able to get out of it and get a yard or even throw the ball out of bounds, that's not a negative play. And special teams, yes, special teams play outstanding. Like I said, Avery Williams is so close to breaking one. The punter did play great all day. On the times we had to punt, we did get behind the chains a couple times with a couple of penalties on offense, um, that kind of stalled our drives. But our punt game was outstanding today. Yeah, man, this guy Drake London is going to be a problem, guys. I'm just telling you now. He kind of remind me of Roddy White. You remember Roddy White? How physical he was. Um, when he was here as one of our receivers, a big physical receiver. That's how Drake London plays. He plays like that, and he's a little bit bigger than Roddy. He's bigger than Roddy White. We know this, but I mean, it's a rookie coming in, and what I really like about Drake London, one interview that he had, they asked him why he wanted to play receivers, and his answer was because he just don't like DBs. He just don't like DBs, and the way he played, he looked like he does not like defensive backs, right? Um, he tried to punk those guys. That one catch he had, back shoulder throw from Marcus Mariota, he just snagged the ball out the air and just like telling the DB, "This my ball, give it to me." Um, like he was going to get into it with one of the defensive linemen. I mean, this guy's going to be. I think he's a star already, guys. Um, and like I said, I still think he's going to get Offensive Rookie of the Year. Um, I know he's not getting a lot of receptions, but but some things like maybe not because he won't get have the stats he need, but his presence and his on the field is what's really showing out for him. Yeah, he was, man. He was letting him hear it all game. He was punking those guys. Pitts his first TD in the United States. Yes. Um, I was so pumped. Did the Dirty Bird, man. Bring back the old Dirty Bird vibes. This is a fun team, guys. It really is. No matter what happens this season, this is a fun team to watch. They all fighters. They all like playing with each other. Um, just was interested to see how this team is going to be clicking, in November, early December. I'm really, really interested to see how this team clicking then, um, because this team's only going to get better. Hope you guys realize that they're only going to get better um, through the season, because they're going to to get more comfortable. Marcus Mariota's going to really get um more comfortable running this offense, and the how multiple it is. We're gonna get CP back. You guys got to remember, Cardell Patterson's coming back. Um, really going to just help us get better and better. This is that's this is what I talk about the depth. One of my other shows, I think a couple of weeks ago. This is really important. It's the depth that we have. Um, I was nervous. I won't lie to you. When AJ went down, then Casey went down, then Oliver went down, and it was still up 14. But now we're going to third string, cornerbacks. But those guys came in, and you couldn't even tell it was a third string cornerback in there. And the reason why, and I can tell you the reason why, because all off season those guys competed with each other all off season. I mean, those guys, D Alford, that's how he made the team, right? Competition against Drake London and all those guys. Teams are not going to play us down the stretch. We're going to be a problem to beat. Yes, that's what I'm talking about. Wallace, that's what I mean, man. When we get in late November, early December, yeah, man, this team is going to be a problem. Like I said, they're going to be clicking, and it's hard to figure out what Arthur Smith's going to call. Long as we play well on first and second down, and have positive yards in those play downs, it's going to be really hard for defense to figure these guys out. And then our defense is going to get better and better. Um, and I really thought today DPS he kind of didn't have as many pressures I would like, especially on Jimmy Garoppolo. But for the most part, um, he started all of the pressures late, which I like. But initially, he was kind of letting off on the pressures, and we was trying to get home, with our front four. But later in the game, he started to call some of those blitzes that they do coming from the defensive backfield, the linebackers blitzing, the safeties blitzing, things like that. So maybe, maybe, maybe. Of course, today they'll give excuses. Um, that the 49ers had a lot of injuries. That's what will be the excuse today why the Falcons was able to pull. Looking at 44, Michael Walker either going to be gone or a backup. So this is a good conversation to have. I think in my opinion, I haven't seen um we only seen one full game from Troy Anderson, but I believe that he plays better in that role. Um, and I think Rashawn Evans played better with the green dot, calling the plays and going downhill. And I think Troy Anderson plays better in space. I think Michael Walker plays better on the outside. Really, I don't think he plays well in the inside. So I don't know what they're going to decide to do. But I think when you think about Troy Anderson, playing the way the play he played today. Yes, he had some missed tackles and things like that, but he was all over the field. I seem like he was in every play almost. And that's what you want to see from your one of your middle linebackers. But when I look at Troy Anderson, I put him in my opinion, just like I see Kayla Huntley. You get these guys, um, opportunity to get in the game, and then they flash, and then you're gonna sit them back down. If anything, him and Michael Walker are gonna be splitting reps. I think we can honestly say that we need and we can use them all. I agree. That's what I think they're gonna do. I think we're gonna just play all the linebackers. I just think he's gonna have more reps than he had, early in the season because he needs to play. The more reps he get, the better it's gonna be for him. So I mean, Michael Walker had not played terrible, not at all. But I just like the way Troy Anderson played, and I feel like he needs to be on the field more. Looking at the Cowboys game, what's the score? 14-0 Philly. Come on, Philadelphia, beat the Cowboys. For all you Cowboy fans out there. All right, guys. So, um, talking about tackles today. Troy Anderson had 13 tackles. Rashawn Evans had 12 tackles. Right? Those are our linebackers. Those are inside linebackers, guys. That's what I'm talking about. 13 tackles, 12 tackles for both of those guys. Inside linebackers all over the field. You can see it. Those guys are getting after it today. So that's that's the kind of performance you want to see from inside linebackers. And like I said, it's going to be very hard. Um, so I think this is a great where we're at 53 man. I think it's be honest with you. I think it's more than 53 man. I think it's more like a 60-man roster, especially the way they're able to bring guys up from the practice squad and things like that. And and have guys inactive because they can only have 48 uh, active on game day. So they able to bring guys up from the practice squad like they did Michael Pruitt today. Um, and guess what? He scored our first touchdown of the game today. And Anthony Firsker was inactive today. So they had Michael Pruitt, and then they had um Parker Hesse. They had Kyle Pitts back. Felipe Franks, for some reason, um, always in the game. Arthur Smith loved Felipe Franks for some reason. But instead of having Anthony Firsker, they had Felipe Franks up. Felipe Franks does play special teams. That's probably why he's out there. Not 100% sure why they um, keep doing that. Shanahan was going to Anderson early, but he did what? Yeah, he was. He was trying to pick on the rookie, and that's what I mean. I like that because that gives him more reps. The more he can see, in games like this, it's definitely is gonna bode well for him going forward. So that's why he need the reps. So I agree with somebody said play all the linebackers. I mean, I think they had some games where he had like 16 snaps. I think that they need to divvy it up, split it between him and Michael Walker. And let's see what it looks like. Let's just see what it looks like. Um, I have no idea what they're doing with Frank. Like I said, he does plays a lot of special teams. So he plays kickoff, he played punt, um, punt return. I think he played punt return coverage. So remember, special teams is important. So you can have one of those guys that play a lot on special teams. You have to be able to do something if you're going to be on the 48-man roster on game day. So um, maybe Anthony Fersker, he wasn't in the game plan for the game, but he actually was able to um, play some special. He can't play special teams, so that's why they went with Franks instead of Fersker. I still want to see Barnhart. Yeah, I do too. I mean, I'll be honest with you guys. Brian Edwards, was he in the game today? I mean, I think that was a bad trade. Starting to think that was a bad trade from the Falcons going to get Brian Edwards because right now, um, he has showed no production, so far. Like I said, it's early in the season. It's only 6 games into the season, but Brian Edwards really, really has not showed any production for us. Um, So him and Jared Barnhart is a rookie. I get it with him, but Brian Edwards, he got one more year left on his contract, so we can take a look at him this year and see if he's going to pan out. But right now, um, I'm unimpressed. One thing I can say, what's really interesting about um this team. I know you guys think about this. Calvin Ridley. Imagine if Calvin Ridley was with the team right now. How explosive, much more explosive this offense could actually be with a guy like Calvin Ridley with his talent that he has. So now, does he fit this kind of team, this physical team? I don't know, but I know he's a talented wide receiver. Um, and we'll have to see. Remember, he has a $11 million cap hit on our roster next year. So it's gonna be interesting to see what they decide to do with Calvin Ridley. But just imagine if he was on this team this year. We didn't have a sack. We had a sack. They took it away. Um, AK and Grady Jarrett got home on the sack, but they called holding on Lorenzo Carter on the play, so um they took away the sack. But right, I agree with you. The pressure was all over the field all day. Um, believe it or not, pressure is really more important than sacks. Yes, you want to get home and sacks or call negative plays. Strip the ball, call fumbles and things like that. Get them down. But if you ever able to get the quarterback off his spot, more, 9 times out of 10, um, you're gonna have a bad play and you're gonna be able to get out the field. And the quarterback start getting in his head because if you're pressuring the quarterback all day long, he's going to start to think about it and be like, I got to get I got to get out of here because the pressure that is coming from the defense, constant pressure, and you start being like Sam Darnold was a couple of years ago when he said he was seeing ghosts out there, right? Because he was jumping and nobody was around him because the pressure he was getting hit like every play, or somebody was in his face like every play. So sacks are good, but in my opinion, the pressures, which, like I said, you really don't see on stat sheets. That's why you have to look at the game film. A guy like Taquan Graham creates a lot of pressure every week. It don't go notice. Of course, Armor Evacati is getting better. He created a lot of pressure today, not going notice. Grady's always in the backfield. That's the kind of stuff we like to see from this defense. The pressures are good for this team. While I said Rakonda, I don't think if really would fit because more running, passing. I agree with you 100%. That's what I said. I don't know if how physical he is because I don't know how well he blocked downfield in the running game, but um, and he might not like that, right? That's why a lot of guys don't like to go play with Lamar Jackson because it's a running team. Just the same kind of team the Falcons got. That's why I like the big body receivers like we got, like a Drake London, like a Kyle Pitts, because they're more physical. They can help in the run game, and they're physical when we take those shots down the field in the middle of the field. So I agree with you 100%. I don't know if really fit, but his talent is you can't say he's not a talented receiver. Hopefully, we make a deal and get a good um probably now since he set out, we probably won't get no more than a fourth to fifth round pick for him now. But um, we'll just have to see what they decide to do with Calvin Ridley. Yeah, we did, we, we did. We more we well, believe it or not, the 49ers had been punking teams all year. Go back and look at their games. Like I said, they had gave up like 500 and something rushing yards, 500 something rushing yards in 5 games. Today they gave up 168 rushing yards. I think the Falcons was a more physical team today. Yeah, Grady, he did. Taquan Graham did come back in the game, so it looked like he's good to go. Um, looked like it was a pretty bad injury. They had to help him out the field, but he actually came back in towards the end, so that's good. That was good for us. Taquan came back in. Um, should I get an AJ Terrell signed helmet or Kyle Pitts helmet? Is twice as much. Either one, man. Both these guys are stars. Um, both of them stars. AJ's about to get paid. Believe that. He's going to be a Falcon at least for another 4 or 5 years. So either guy that you get, of course, Kyle Pitts was the fourth overall pick, right? He's supposed to be the generational type player. So depends how Kyle Pitts might go for more later on if you're thinking about some value in it. But both of those young guys is going to be great for us moving forward. So I wouldn't. To me, it wouldn't matter which one I get. I hope Graham's okay. Like I said, he came back in the game. So hopefully, um, whatever it didn't linger enough to have him not return because he did return to the game today. So that's a good thing. But the last three teams the Niners played wasn't against a quarterback with exactly. Uh, that's why our team is so different to just get ready for it, to prepare for it. This point here, Arthur Smith even said it because the the ability for Marcus Mariota to pull that ball out and run with it, they have to prepare for that. And what happens is those guys are crashing hard, trying to stop the run because when the Falcons get their running game going, right, they try to catch them come from the backside and stop them before they get going. So these guys are crashing down hard, and Marcus Mariota read that well a couple of times today, and was able to pull it down and go out on the backside. So that's you correct. That's a reason why. That's why I think Marcus Mariota is our starter right now. Because that ability to be able to, you know, utilize his running ability and then that read option, and it's natural to him as well. It's not something that he has to be taught. I mean, that's his game, 100%. So it works well in his offense, utilizing Marcus Mariota in that fashion. So good point, Wallace. Uh, Thanks, man. I appreciate that advice. No problem. Uh, Hope they keep the whole team. They're young, getting better in every way. Yes, man. I love this team. I'm not gonna even lie to you guys. It's one of my favorite teams so far. I mean, I got so many. Been a Falcon fan for a long time, so but I just like this young team because, and the reason why, because it's really no real like veteran guy that's there that you can see that this team could play together for a while. Of course, when guys starting to get paid, um, you have to start guys going to leave like Fourier had to do last year, right? But when you don't have to pay the quarterback yet, right? That's where all the money get taken when you have to pay your quarterback. So right now, they can afford to keep all their young talent, like I said, like a AJ Terrell, who they're gonna have to pay here soon. Chris Lindstrom is another guy that they're gonna have to end up paying. Um, of course, you got guys like Richard Grant, Kyle Pitts. They're a couple of years away, so we'll have to worry about that now. Um, a guy like Jalen Hawkins, if you want to keep him. What they want to do, Isaiah Oliver, because he's just on a 1 year deal. Lorenzo Carter just on a 1 year deal, right? So those are some of the things that you got to think about. Terry Fontenot did say that you want to pay your guys in house first. So when we are looking at free agency next year. You got to think about some of the guys you got to pay in house first, like a AJ, like a Christian Lindstrom, like a Lorenzo Carter, if we want to keep him, like a Rashawn Evans, right? If we want to keep him as well. Um, so those are kind of things we have to look at to see what the Falcons decide to do. Can't pay everybody, but it is good when you don't have to pay your quarterback, right? Because once you have to pay your quarterback, um, then you're gonna start losing guys in other places. Yeah, I agree. I think we're gonna be able to sign a lot of those guys because we're gonna have a cap space. So, you know, instead of looking outside the walls, I think we're gonna be looking a lot in first, which is gonna be deservedly so, correct? Like I said, like a guy like Lorenzo Carter. I like him. Right now, I like the way he fits with this team. Um, like I said, you're going to pay Chris Lindstrom. If they, they picked up the fifth year option on him, you're going to pay AJ Terrell. Um, so those guys going to get paid first, of course, and then you can actually try to see can we get some. One thing we do know about this team, they're able to go find talent from the outside. They have done it 2 years in a row to make this team competitive. So we can go find some more veteran to bring in. Um, you know, to deal like they did with CP. That was awesome. Yes, I agree with you. We're gonna be most signing our own players. Yep. He said, I hope they do. Yeah, I think they're gonna sign most of the players. And see, guys, what's great about this young team is um and then everybody, it's cliches, right? They jump from year one to year two, right? But you can see it. You can see the jump that Taquan Graham had from last year to this year. See the jump that Richard Grant had from last year to this year. So just imagine how much better Arnold Ebiketie is going to be. D'Angelo Malone is going to be. Troy Anderson is going to be from this year to next year. So you can see those jumps of those guys. And like I said, you don't have to pay those guys right away, and then we don't have to have you don't have a quarterback that's eating up all your money. Um, you can build a team around, get your young quarterback, and then you can have that Seattle formula that they had for so many years, right? With the Legion of Boom, they had a young quarterback in Russell Wilson, and they built a team around them, and that's how you're able to get to the be competitive for years to come. Eventually, you have to pay your quarterback, but um, that's the formula that these guys trying to create. You can see it, and hopefully, they can actually do it. I think we'll resign Grady back as McGarrett. I think so as well. He's been playing great so far this year. This offensive line starting to develop that chemistry like we haven't seen in a long time since when we had Alex Mack and those guys here, and you go back to Todd McClure, those guys. This the kind of chemistry that we're starting to see from this offensive line. Um, just adding in Elijah Wilkinson, you know, putting the center Drew Dahlman at center. You starting to see these guys chemistry starting to develop a whole lot. And right, this is the key right here, right? I think these guys like this team. They want to be here, right? And we don't want I like the way Mike Tomlin said we don't want hostages. So um, that's something that we got to look forward to. Lishman was talking about what he learned from Alex Mack. Yep, that 1 year with Alex Mack definitely those years. I mean, those couple years Alex Mack definitely gave Lindstrom some wisdom that we needed, and our defense will be much better next year too because players. Yes, yes, exactly. That's what I'm talking about. These guys, um, it's just the growth, right? It's just the growth. Starting believing the system. Um, we trust me, guys. We're going to see it this year, not just next year, but we're gonna, like I said, late November, December time frame, we're gonna start to see the um the growth in this team this year from both sides of the ball, right? You're gonna see Marcus Mariota get more, and more confident in this offense. You're gonna see the defense, Dean P start to call plays, and these guys gonna be flying around, and that's what we're gonna see. That's the hopes, man. That's the hopes. Top 10 defense next year, maybe top five. That's the hope. Just a couple of pieces, man. Just a couple of pieces. A couple more pieces. These guys get better, and like Wallace said, more familiarity with the defense. Because they've been in the defense like 2 to 3 years, and then he really can call whatever he want to call, and these guys be able to execute those plays. So, guys, that's an hour. I've been on for an hour. Definitely come back on tomorrow and talk about the good, the bad, and what we can do better and get ready for Cincinnati this weekend, upcoming weekend. But once again, guys, 2 wins in a row. One of the things I wanted to see, we was able to hold down Debo Samuel, was able to hold down George Kittles, who was able to put the ball in Jimmy Garoppolo's hand, and he gave us two um, turnovers. Good team win, good complimentary football all the way around. This team is a whole lot better than the 2-win team that everybody, um, except us, right? Except the fan base. I mean, it's a couple content creators out there pick the Falcons to go win 4 or 5 games, and I I don't know why, because if they looked at the team like we did all season, the competitiveness, like just because you don't know these guys, right? I think all these guys are professionals. They come in every week, just like the big name guys, and try to, they made it to the NFL as well. And the disrespect that a lot of people had towards this team because they didn't have the high paid players on their team. Um, I always believed in the coaching staff. I always believed in the culture. I always believed in chemistry. And I always believed that what we did last year was going to translate to this year. I mean, to win 7 games with the team we had last year, the culture that he had already established, and to bring it in with a better roster this year, I thought was going to translate. And that's when we started to see um, from this team. So, guys, that's all I have tonight. Definitely come back in. We'll talk again about just like I said, a recap about what we saw completely. I think we covered a lot tonight, but we'll definitely just go over it again. I always like to go back and look at the game, see what I missed, even though I was there. I was being a fan at the time, so I probably missed some things. There was some key things that I did see that I definitely want to go back and look at. But overall, it was a great team win. Hopefully, we get some injury report updates um tomorrow. Some of our key guys they'll be ready to go. We probably won't know anything really till Wednesday when they come out with the first injury report. Yes, right, right. The fans are the only one know our player names. That's 100% correct, man. That this is like one of the biggest statements that's out there because you're right. Some guys they were looking at like, who is that? Who is that guy? Right? They know the big names. They know Kyle Pitts. They know Grady Jarrett. Um, some people don't even know who AJ Terrell is. Right? That's why he didn't even get voted to the Pro Bowl last year, which he only gave up 200 yards total all last year. So that's so. I mean, you're right. That's a good statement. But guys, like I said, that's it. Um, talk to you guys later. This is your boy Ricondo coming back at you with another video. Peace.